Here we go. So this is something new I'm doing for those of you who have never, well, this is my first one, so a lot of you aren't going to be here and not really understand what I'm doing because I usually do meditations during these live session things I do, but I'm going to do something else and maybe get more people into meditation by bringing them to my channel so they could try those daily things too. So, as many of you know, I am in Japan and I've taken some time off from the live streams. And the reason being for that is I've been doing like this detox thing and I needed to spend some time by myself. But I'm always trying to be as productive as I can. I am still studying and I decided to build an app. And the reason why I decided to build this app called Kitsune Sensei, or in my case, it's my mascot's a three-tailed fox. I'm from Japanese mythology. Is because my classmates have been having a lot of trouble learning Japanese. In fact, I would say that um, a lot of them don't even know how to study. I've been to the summer program at Middlebury College, and I've been I've studied at KO University. In my advanced class, there were like 7 people. Um, there, out of the 3 of us, well, half Japanese. There was one Japanese American. There was one German grad student, and there were 3 Chinese. And of course, they know the writing system, or rather, they know Chinese characters because they were raised writing it. So Chinese people tend to progress faster in Japanese. So my class didn't have very many people. And in addition to that, there were a lot of international students, and there were a lot of beginner classes too. And in those beginner classes, there was probably like 300 people. Like the number was huge. So a lot of these language apps, they are designed by people who cannot speak Japanese in the first place, or do it at a very basic level. There's no real experts doing it. And when you think about apps like Anki, these space repetition apps, they just help you memorize words. And since they help you just memorize words, it doesn't help develop the nervous system to react in a way that's natural for speaking. So, like I said, I've been studying for a long time. I went to high school here and I go to UC Irvine in the US. I'm in Japan now. I'm hopefully going to graduate. I know I'm a little older, but I'm still a college student. I was playing sports for years. I retired, combat sports, because at a certain point your body can't deal with it anymore. And I have friends who keep trying to compete, and I have friends who have opened gyms. The gyms are a lot of work. You have to be there. You can't go anywhere else. You have to focus on it for it to grow or get anywhere. And I've also seen people who try to go way past their prime, and that's the worst type of thing that you could see. I've seen some really horrible results from that. I'm lucky because I've had good coaches. I didn't get injured that much. I didn't take that many kind of hits to the head, all down to my coaching. So I'll always be thankful to them. But after that, I had to make a decision. And I think the turning point for that decision is I met my friend on the street um, while I was running type of a hostel slash homeless shelter. I dealt with travelers and people who were out of a place. It was a kind of a weird mix, but I did that for several years. And I was walking down the street one day and I saw my friend who was a cruiserweight boxer. from England, born in Nigeria. Very good guy. I mean, I love him to death. However, he was living in another hostel, not far from where I was at. And the sad part about that is he was ranked number 3 in the world. He was good. He won his fights or his matches, and he went very, very far in the sport. But because he couldn't do it anymore, it was this thing where he was at a place where he was asking himself, what now? Um, I don't judge anyone. I was just happy to see him. I am always happy to see my friends that I grew up and grew with throughout the years. But I wanted to do something else, not just run a small business that may or may not grow. Therefore, I decided to go to college, and I already could speak Japanese. I wanted to major in Japanese to get it to a higher level. It's something I always wanted to do. And when I say a higher level, I mean an academic one. And that is what I did. I started with community college. I had 40 units at times. It was crazy, but I got mostly A's in all of my classes. And I transferred to UC Irvine on a college scholarship for the purpose of studying abroad in Japan. And part of that was going to Keio University, which I'm not at now. However, I'm still in Japan. But that's a different story. I'm not going to get into now. But during that time, and especially during community college, in the first class, there were many, many students. I'm seeing this having an advantage coming in. And there were a lot. There were probably 35. We did the class remotely, 35 to 40. And everyone came in very enthusiastic to learn this very rigid academic Japanese. So that was the first quarter. And from the second one to the third one and to the last one, I spent 3 or 4 quarters there. I can't really remember. The numbers became few. And that's because my classmates were having a hard time with it and having a hard time catching up with the material. And studying by yourself isn't always an option because you don't know how to study, first of all. And second, studying a language and getting good at it can be expensive. No matter what you're at, even if you're studying your native language and you want to get it to a certain level of proficiency, it's going to cost you. You got to do tutors, you have to get educated, you have to study formally. Sure, you could do things yourself too, but those cases are rare. And even so, even though these guys who um, become polyglots online, and I have my own sort of issues and ideas about them in that they're not actually really fluent in anything they speak. And I'll get to that in a second regarding Japanese. Um, they had a lot of trouble with it. And I wanted to do something where someone can really get down and study from A to B in a way where their nervous system is reacting to the material rather than just trying to memorize things like these spaced repetition things that people are always trying to learn from and not really getting anywhere. So I decided to do something a little different. Like I said, I've gone to Middlebury. I've had a lot of time to study and think about studying since I've been studying since like a long time, since I was a kid, just not formally. However, I was in the Navy. I wanted to do the Defense Institute, where the Language Institute in Monterey. But because I wasn't an officer, I couldn't do Japanese and I lost interest. So that ended, and now I'm where I'm at. And even here at KO, my classmates have a lot of trouble learning. And when you look at these influencers in Japan too, many of their they might sound fluent, and many of their channels give the impression that they are, or they could speak very well, and they have influence on all these people when they talk about how to study and all these other things. But some of them have been in Japan for 10, 15 years, and they speak like sixth or seventh graders. You cannot have an adult conversation with them. There's a few that can, that you might remember. I made a post where I talked to Pearl. Her Japanese is very good, but she studies, and I don't think it's what it can be because she studies all these other things. You could take another language and study it for the rest of your life because the vocabulary and the vernacular is so vast that you cannot do it all within a compressed time. Um, yeah, but it depends on your goals too. Some people just want to be conversational, and that's the most important thing. And in turn, that's what academics miss, that development of the nervous system so one can react to what's being said to you in a confident and fluent manner without having to think about it too much, which is why I created this app, Kitsune Sensei, or Kitsune Teacher Kitsune. And I am going to take you guys through it real quick and show you how it works. I thought that perhaps I would learn other ones too. But I may do that in the future. But right now, I'm going to do this. And my goal is to beta test the app by doing it myself and see how far I can push it. And I decided to do this thing where it's space repetition, but it's shadowing space repetition. And I did it through generative AI, where I saved a natural voice where you could interact with. And I have a microphone here. It analyzes your shadowing, and it also analyzes your shadowing from memory, from beginner all the way to advanced. Possibly someday my goal will be other languages too, but let's see how this goes, because that's just the nature of these things. You try your best to create something, and people either show up to it or not for whatever reason. So let's do this. I'm going to and I do hope it could give people who want to learn Japanese or are studying or have a dream of maybe watching television or anime or listening to music and wanting to understand everything or wanting to have meaningful conversations. I really hope that people will really take to this and enjoy it too, because I've made it in a way where it's very stimulating. So, without further ado, let's go here. And here is my website, Kitsune Sensei. And let's go ahead and log in. All right, so here it is. So I have a timer. If you are familiar with the Department of Defense, it has, I don't know, the government, American government, they rank languages by different difficulty. And one for English speakers, one is like Spanish, that's the easiest, Danish, and a few others. And 5 is Korean, Japanese, and Mandarin. And I think these are harder than Korean because you have to learn so many characters. And I have a special way to learn how to write kanji too within this system that I will show you also. All right, so Here's the dashboard. Here's the ideas. You can install your own decks, 100 idioms and expressions, 100 collocations. So I have different customizable decks rather than studying from the rugged JLPT list, which is the official list from the Japanese Ministry of Education, which is often a lot of words that you don't use. And just by learning the 100 emotions, for example, you can express yourself so much better in many different ways. Whether you're a beginner and advanced, as long as you get express yourself, you'll be able to really get it and do the shadowing aspect. And I will show you that now. So I have my decks installed. I'm going to go ahead and resume vocabulary because I was working on it earlier.
明日友達に会います。
So ashita, the first one was, since I'm continuing, let's go to review first. Shows the word we're studying. So we're doing certain words, and with the words, we're doing the sentences. With the sentences, we remember the words better because we're reacting to what's being said. There's the translation, and we learn the sentence structure too. So when somebody says something to you and it's familiar, you'll be able to respond accordingly. You don't have to memorize all this stuff. Eventually, if you do it enough and you do enough repetition, you will be able to respond. So here we go. And go ahead and continue to
明
shadow.
日友達に会います。
Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu.
明日友達に会います。 明日友達に会います。
So you can record yourself too and check yourself. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Play it back. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. There you go. And this is a little, I'm having like this issue. It says nice match. Heard ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. So that's what it says. I'm still dealing with this weird coloration thing where I'm trying to work on the contrast and find everything that's like green on green or red on red. But anyway, that's why we're beta testing, right? So, I go to the next one.
明日友達に会います。
Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu.
明日友達
tomodachi
に
ni
会います。
aimasu. Now we're going to, let's do this. It's going to check that, and it's going to not quite. Now we're going to, let's see, yeah, totally different. But that's an example of what it does when you are doing incorrect input. So let's try it again. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Oh, and let's try again. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. So that's right. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. So I'm going to need that's going to need some work. Let's try again. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Okay, so that's correct. That's a bug. I'm going to test it. I'm going to fix that in a bit, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go. So next, you go ahead and work on the translation drill. That's embarrassing. It actually, the hiragana that it put in, it actually matched the kanji perfectly. So it's just a bug. I will get it fixed. So here you put in the translations, right? So it gives you in English, and you just type it here. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. So it's checking the translation. There we go. Sekai. So that's correct. So next one. Oh, let's go this. Watashi wa sensei ga eki de aimashita. Waiting. Oh, not quite. So, see? So I missed it a little bit. Sensei ga tomodachi de aiki de aimashita. So as you could see, the particles are different, right? And the order was different, more natural. It gives you the more natural expression, and you correct yourself accordingly. Eki de sensei ni aimashita. So let's see what happens. All right, so as you see the difference, and that's how that last part was supposed to act while I was reading back. But like I said, this is a beta. It's just a bug. I will fix it. All right, so you get the idea there. I have better pronunciation than app, someone says. Yeah, thank you. And I am going to work out the bugs. So here, 私は偶然に道で友達に会いた。I may have to loosen I could see that it read a little bit differently. I'm going to have to loosen what it hears. Oh, it got it. So correct. So I work it in. So if the mic doesn't hear the exact phonical characters in it, it still gets um, the nuance and the sound of it and is able to correct it that way. There's still a few bugs, as you all were able to see. However, fundamentally, it's able to understand that you said what you're trying to say. Whereas if I go back and try again and say something completely different, it's going to mark it as incorrect. So let's do that. Let me see. 私は橋で友人に会った。So I changed it up a little bit. Hashi, it heard chopsticks. Eugene, it heard Yonji. However, it's still completely wrong. So it says incorrect. Met at 4 o'clock with chopsticks. So there you go. So that's basically it. There's writing. You create your own sentences next. So it creates a structure. Tomodachi to atta. Check. And if you know the word, you can actually force master why you make it so it's not complicated at all. I'm just at a how can I say it? Um, it's still an elementary level. However, it's not the basics, the fundamental basics. So I will take you there. So I do have a beginner's hub. So we're going to leave this. I could pick up where I left off. We're on the beginner's hub. And here we get some lessons about how Japanese works, how the structure is, and it explains a little bit of the history, how sounds work, the 3 writing systems. So it explains everything in English at a very fundamental level. You could read it, or you could have it read out to you. Does both. say I got 30 XP. It's the system's gamified, and there is a leaderboard. The leaderboard works through time. It says I'm not studying now, but I've already fixed this in the editing environment. So wherever you're in a study and you're engaging, it's going to go automatically. So, but if you don't study, if you pause for 30 minutes or that, not 30 minutes, 3 minutes, it will stop. So here is the basic type of alphabet. Hiragana shows you how to write. It tells you how to pronounce. Listen again. Ah, ah. You would check yourself. Now say ah out loud and tap record. Okay. Ah. Check pronunciation. Yep. Nice. That sounds right. Cool. Then you go to the next one. E.
E.
E. E. I can play back, hear how he sounded. E. All right. I can check my pronunciation. Oh, not quite. Let's try again. E. It heard E. We heard A, but E. It said we heard E, but the target was E. We're going to fix that. That's that bug again. E. I hear. I got it. E. Let's see if that worked. If I shortened it. Oh, not quite. It's a E. Nice try. Not quite. Let's try again. E. Will I get it this time? Not quite. We could skip it. So in case it does this, we can skip. But let's try one more time. E. Maybe that. Yeah, it's still picking up E. I will fix that.
Ooh.
See if it fixes this one out better. Ooh. Try again. We couldn't hear anything. Okay, let's go like this. Ooh. We couldn't hear anything. Okay, there's a little bit of a sound issue. But that's okay. I think it might have to do with me live streaming at the same time as I'm doing this. That's exactly what it is. So I was worried for a second that's what it is, but I assure you guys it does work. 100% because I'm live streaming at the same time as I'm demonstrating this. Given that, it's still working pretty good, right? Yep. I already have that, Isaac. And not only so, you could go here. There's the deck library. So I already have one there, emotions. But then I have my decks, and here these are, which I can also share with everyone. So I will go here, my decks, already in collection. I am going to, let's see if I can do it this way. I clicked on it. AI import, start blank, regenerate systems. Where do I do that? Okay, share with all users. So if I make a deck with my own vocabulary or expressions, I can share with all users, just like this. So deck is now shared with all users, 100 kotowaza. And I go to the deck library, and there it is, a prayers. It says already in collection since it's my own deck. So there will absolutely be 500 most useful words. There'll be a survival deck, and this is again. I do want to stress this is not just for beginners; it's for advanced speakers too, and I'll show you some of that also. So here's the test vocabulary. So this could be studied the same way. And like I said, I'm on this stream, so it's not going to be that easy for it to pick up the audio. It's not going to be able to do it as well as it usually does, but it does work. Um, yeah. So here it is. 先生は規則に厳しいです。
先生は規則に厳しいタイム。先生は規則に厳しいタイム。
So that's an issue. Okay, there we go. Chichi wa kodomo ni
父子供に厳しく言います。
厳しく言います。Sentence 3.
冬の寒さは今年とても厳しい。
冬の寒さは今年とても厳しい。All right, then it's going to make you do your own translation. So this is different. This is for academic purposes. Evaluation. How do you say evaluation? I know my way of saying it. Hyoka kana. Yeah. Hyo. Hyo suru kana. Okay. 上司の評のがいつも厳しい。?Okay. 上司の評がいつも厳しい。Or wants me to type it. 教師の評がいつも厳しい。So this is why we beta test. Oh, so this needs to be looked at. All right. So next part I want to show you. This is why I'm not taking signups right now either, guys. So bear with me. I will get this down perfect. I was mainly focused on the voice recognition before and getting it to where it's not too strict because it's not going to be perfect most of the time when you say stuff, but at the same time not be too lenient. It's going to still pick up the sounds that sound like what's being said, which translates or can be understood by people in a way that it's said. Right. So here are the kanji practices. So this is another big area. It's loaded. It shows you the writing. It shows you the character in print. Shows you the stroke order, and you pick the meaning in English. So bridge. All right. So. Oh. I missed one. All right. So let's pick another. All right. This one. Direction. You choose the onyomi. Hand. Pronunciation. There we go. Moku. You may not know or really get what I'm doing here, but this is, like I said, this is not like the fundamental type of lesson that's in the beginner's hub. And from there, it explains where to go to next. So, road. Ooh, that's road. All right, so I missed one. Shows 1, 9, 1 incorrect, 90%. And this uses space repetition too. You study again or go back to the kanji hub, and it shows you how much you learned at what level. So 0 mastered. Once you are at a certain place and a certain speed, it will go to the master folder, and you're able to complete that part and move on to the elementary, intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. So I have a glossary with the 8,444 words roughly that are in the JLPT curriculum. I have grammar lessons. So that's what these are. I have all of them turned off except for the N3 one. And I have mostly worked on this a lot. Kodomo ga yogeru you ni naru. And I made the sentences through all levels as easy as possible, or as uncomplicated as possible. And the reason being for that is if people can understand it in a short, easy sentence, no matter what advanced it is, they're going to be able to string things together in much longer sentences and be able to express themselves better. And that is one of the big issues with textbooks and learning traditionally is they have all these big long sentences, and it just confuses people because they can't even say a short sentence using the content in it. The idea is to be able to identify the grammar point and the words and be able to understand what is being said or written down. Same here.
今、日本語が少しわかるようになる。
今、日本語が少しわかるようになる。
今、日
今、
本
日本語が
語が少し
少
わかるよう
しわかる
になる。
ようになる。
今、
今、
日
日本語
本語が
が少し
少しわ
わかる
かるよう
ようになる
になる。。今、
今、
日本語が少しわかるようになる。今、
今、日
日
本語が
本語が
少し
少しわ
わかる
かるよう
ようにな
になる。
る。Right, memory check. 今、今、日本語が少しわかるようになる。It's not picking it up that well, but it got it. 今、日本語が少しわかるようになる。Next sentence.
毎日本を読むようになる。
毎日本を読むようになる。
毎日
毎日本を
本を読む
読むよう
ようになる。
になる。
毎
毎
日
日本を
本を
読むよ
読むよ
うになる。
うになる。毎
毎
日
日本
本を
を読むよ
読むよう
うになる
になる。。毎
毎
日
日本を
本を
読むよう
読むよう
になる
になる。。
毎日本を読むようになる。All right, you said it. You said it great. I'm gonna have to go back and look at all the words and the single syllable things. I think that one of the issues too is that sounds can carry to different languages and sound the same, and it kept hearing like me saying e instead of e. It's the same. So I have to narrow the perimeters in that part so it just hears the Japanese e. and not any other language that it might divert to. So next.
野菜を食べるようになる。
野菜を食べるようになる。
野菜を
野菜を
食べ
食べるよう
るようになる。
になる。
野
野
菜を食
菜を食
べるよう
べるよう
になる。
になる。
野
野
菜を
菜を食
食べるよう
べるよう
になる。
になる。
野
野
菜を
菜を食
食べるよう
べれるよう
になる。
になる。野菜を食べるようになる。All right, great recall. 朝早
朝
く起き
早く
るよう
起きるよ
になる。
うになる。
朝早く起きるようになる。
朝
朝
早く
早く
起きるよう
起きるよう
になる。
になる。
朝
朝
早
早く
く起きる
起きるよう
ようになる。
になる。
朝
朝
早
早く
く起きる
起きるよう
ようになる。
になる。
朝
朝早
早く
く
起きる
起きるよう
ようになる。
になる。朝早く起きるようになる。He's not really picking up the mic. Let's try this. Maybe I had it up too loud next time. I don't know. Let's adjust a little bit.
彼は一人で行くようになる。
なる。
彼は
彼は
一人で行くようになる。
になる。This might not seem like it makes much sense in English, but it does sort of in Japanese. 彼は一人で行くようになる。
彼は
彼は
一人で行くようになる。
ようになる。
彼は一人で行くようになる。彼は一人で行くようになる。
彼は一人で行くようになる。I just forgot. Next sentence. So we're still studying the same grammar point, and there are reviews, there's blitzes where we go through everything as straight as we can, because that's what it takes. The child comes to be able to swim. 子供が泳げるようになる。
子供が泳げるようになる。
Again, I can record myself and play it back. 子供が泳げるようになる。Now check it. Like I said, that's a little bug where it's too light and you can't see it. It says nice match. Heard 子供が泳げるようになる。
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 子供が泳げるようになる。子供が泳げるようになる。
子供が泳げるようになる。Oh, 子供が泳げるようになる. Shit, that's that bug again that I need to fix. So phonically, this is exactly what this says. I see it says it heard yokeru yo ni naru. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's try again. 子供が泳げるようになる。子供が呼んでいる。Okay, let me adjust the mic again. 子供が泳げるようになる。Yep, there you go. Yep, it was the adjustment. It's actually really, yeah, maybe you guys can't hear it, but it's really windy outside. It might be a typhoon or something like that. But anyway, the idea is that I'm going to study with this a lot here and maybe motivate some of you too. I'll do other studyings too. This is just a tool. It's not the only way. You're going to see me writing a lot, do a lot of writing, reading. I'll have this on. And the idea is to be able to do 8 hours a day. Every 100 hours or so, I'll bring someone on and we'll have a conversation in Japanese so you guys can hear that or just to garner some interest. Of course, I'm going to do my meditation things every day too, so don't worry about that. We're still going to do that. This is just another thing that I'm doing, and you could do meditation and you could do all this self-improvement all day. You call yourself spiritual all day, but if you don't strive for something, right, whether it's just peace or doing something that can help your life in a substantial or significant way, then you have to ask yourself why you're doing something for. And that's part of the reason. I built this thing for a lot of reasons. I explained that a little bit at first when in the beginning of this live. And yeah, it's also that too. It's also why I decided to do this on this channel and not create another one. It's because I want to inspire people to do things by showing, hopefully, what comes across as discipline and not fanaticism. Listening. So there's listening. All right. So 10 AI spoken questions, one grammar nuance at a time. Shall we try that? And again, we are beta testing. And I am showing you guys a little bit of the functionality at the same time. I hope those of you in attendance for this are enjoying what I'm showing you. So right now it's generating questions in audio. It will, through AI, be able to check your level and give you questions according to what you've been studying. All right. But also, it's going to have these built in that other people have generated that you could go into and practice at any time and not have to wait for it to generate through AI or OpenAI, which is what it's doing now. As you can see, the studying timer is going. Let me see. You guys have any questions in there? I see someone. See, there's a few of you here. Still loading. See session history. Well, perhaps we could go to this one. All right. Listening results. Oh, that's one of my tests where I sped through it to see if it was right. And it does work. Oh, let's go here. Why did it take me here? Let's go back to listening and see if that's generated yet. Leaderboard, analytics, listening. Oh, start listening practice. Oh, there it is. Play question 1.
ちゃんと準備していれば結果を出せたものをあんなに適当にやったからね。この文で話し手が伝えたい気持ちはどれですか？
Playing choices.
1. 自分が準備できなかったことを残念がっている。2. 相手の準備不足を非難して結果が出なかったことを残念に思っている。3. 結果についてあまり気にしていない。
So I'm just going to pick the first one. Oh, and correct. It was 2. So it was wrong. So I go to the next one. Play.
連絡してくれれば会えたものを急に来ちゃうなんて。会えたものの言い方は何を
I
表
didn't
してい
hear
ますか？
anything it said. I'm going to put a replay feature
It's
on here.
話し手は会いたくなかったことを言っている。2. 話し手は会えなかったことを残念に思い、相手を責めている。3. 話し手は未来の予定について単に述べているだけだ。
How sure are you? Somewhat. Oh, answer was 2 again. All right. Mono expresses regret, reproach, or
子
sense of
供たちに
owning.
影響を与える立場なのに、 あんなに軽く言ったものを、結局影響を受けた子が出てしまった。
So it's using the vocabulary I've
この
already
文
went
の
through
言ったものを
before.
どんなニュアンスを強調していますか？ 1. 話し手が自分の発言を後悔している。
No, it's not that one.
2. 相手の軽い発言を非難しており、それが原因で子供が影響を受けたと述べている。
Mm-hmm.
3. 子供たちが最初から影響を受けないと予想していたことを示している。
Oh, this is tough. I gotta fix this. As you can see, it stretches out of the container. Yep, got it right. And just so you guys know, it's not going to always be number 2. It is random. All right, so you get an idea of that. I'm just going to, well, I don't want to wait and play all these. I want to show you guys a little bit more, but it will save this lesson. And so other people can do it too and not have to wait for it to load. No lesson less explanation lessons. So those should be here, but they're not. Yes, I fixed this already and I have to upload it. All right, handwriting. This is a thing where you practice writing on your tablet if you have it. I will explain that more. And also, too, another thing that it does that's really cool is that you learn everything and write it by hand. There's different drills, and you have a certain amount of time to write things down on a piece of paper. And you take a picture of it and you upload it, or it can be viewed, or you don't have to upload it at all. You just do it by yourself and see the results and see what you got right and wrong. You could try to cheat, but I mean, there's no reason to, because the leaderboard, it just depends on time. It counts your time. So it's up to you. However, there's full analytics. It keeps track of how you've improved. And it's something you want to notice yourself. I'm not going to really go into these a lot because there's a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff that teaches writing and helps you with drills and does a bunch of different games. You could write letters and you take a picture of the letter and upload it to the system. There you go. Choose picture or take one, or choose photo or take one. Right? So you could do that here. Pretty cool, right? You could copy these 10 sentences on the paper. So there's some of this too. That's the drill we picked. There's essays. You could write a self-introduction. All right. Want a different topic? Prompt. Here's a prompt. Write 150 to 250 characters about yourself. Then you could upload it and you can have it analyze your grammar. And it's a very useful tool to get these written down. Many people who study Japanese, they learn how to read it, but they don't know how to write. Many Japanese have lost the ability to write too, and they can maybe write 800 to 1,000 characters by heart, if that, because everyone uses a keyboard nowadays. However, it gives people the option to be able to get to that and beyond just through repetition and practice. Here's a leaderboard. I'm number 1 because I'm the only one using the site. Here's the analytics. Time this week, average vocabulary accuracy. I'm testing it out. I'm not trying to get everything right now. Daily study time, 14-year review forecast, vocabulary accuracy. So all this stuff tracks. AI chat usage. It's actually count. I'll show you this in a second. It's not gonna cost you that much. And there's a reason why it cost me that much. Basically, 100,000 calls. And I'll show you why there's 100,000 calls in just a second. voice history, voice practice history. So you might have heard some audio before sound kind of funny. I could actually regenerate it and get it right. And also for users that might come across a sentence that sounds kind of funky or the AI messes it up, they could report it and I could check it and I could regenerate it. That's already been implemented. It's my account, AI usage settings. That's actually much better than I thought it would be. And I will show you why it costs what it cost. Daily limits, 10 reviews. You could set how much you want to review per day so you could pace yourself. Session size, 10 items. Here's your SRS sessions. You want 10 items, 10 minutes, 5 full, and 5 intro. And there's a difference between the workload between full and intro. FAQ and help, full FAQ. And there's also still need help. Yeah, my email's there. There's also support, help and support. Yep. Here's the community forum. That's going to be open to everyone that can come in and use it and subscribe. It's not just going to be for users. Help and support. You support help tickets in case something's going on. So I'm going to show you the admin a little bit. Here it is. So generate, and this generates the sentences for all the site. So vocabulary words, I generated all the audio for it. There's 80 missing. I'm going to run it. I'm going to generate the rest or try to. Same thing, I already have 100% of the grammar points covered. So all the audio for those sentences are done. Simple grammar sentences, 100% coverages. There's 735. I think I have 5 each. I have more than that. So sentence audio. So this is the big one. 81,310 sentences. There are still 3,825 missing. So I'm going to finish trying to generate those. And it's going to fill up the voice of the sentence and also the actual sentences themselves for the words. All right, so that is basically the app in a nutshell. There's a lot to explore. There's practice drills, and I have a lot of practice drills that are really kind of rapid fire. As you can see, the color's messed up. It's another bug I am working on. We will get, I think I did fix this already. It is just not uploaded or updated yet. So different drills, bonus drills, basic phrase shadowing. Let's try one. Kanji recognition, kanji writing practice, listening archive. Yep, there's the archive where we could do our drills, fill in blank grammar. Let's try that. Start. Loading. Yeah, yes, you can slow it down, by the way. So you could do that in your settings. Fill in the blank. Let's see. Kenko no tame ni maiasa jogging suru koto ga aru. Yo ni suru. I see. It basically tells you. So this drill, it's not like original grammar. It takes the grammar and helps you finish the sentence in a way, in a very easy way. Yoni shiteiru. Yoni shiteiru. So it wanted yoni suru. All right. To do something yoni suru with the dictionary form is to indicate trying to do something habituary. All right, let's do this one right. Bakari. ゲームするばかりしている。するばかり. It might want をするばかり, but that's okay. I'm just going to do it like this. お、ゲームばかりしている. So I just wanted that. Okay. Oh, yeah, only one thing. Yeah, I'm not doing too well. てばかりいる. Okay, so that says only. 食べてばかり. 食べてばかりいると太るよ. Yep, so that's correct. So you get the idea a little bit of how this works and the drills it has and all this other stuff. And I am going to be beta testing it constantly to get it right before I release it to everyone else. If you want to use it, please be patient. I want it to be and work as perfect as it can. And I have not much choice but to beta test it myself, and I will do that. And when I do, and I'm satisfied with it, I'll release it. All right, so that is my presentation, and that is me showing this. Like, there's so much I want to do with this. I want to add more games and drills. I want to perfect the ones that are already here. I want to streamline the daily routine so people could set a number of hours that they want to do, and it will compress their kind of speed, and which is part of the reason why I have the timer there, to create a lesson plan for how much hours they want to spend per day or per week or whatever. I never recommend per day, per week. You have to be consistent. And yeah. So for you, those of you watching, I entered this into the BuildHub competition. I hope I win. For if any of the judges are watching, yeah, I am devoted to this. I want it to go well, and yeah, thank you for considering me. All right. But before I take off, any questions from anyone here? I see there are 10 people watching. Anyone in the chat? Anyone? I'm not going to do the full hours and hours tonight. I'm going to start that tomorrow. Good looking. Good. Ms. Wish Me 6, thank you so much. Right. So without further ado, since no one really has anything else to say, I am going to take the rest of the evening and relax. And I hope to see some of you on the app. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Good night and good day.